So, Masa, what is your expectations now then in terms of BOJ for the rest of this year, and what does that mean for rates as well?
Well, for BOJ, I think, everything is in place. They are still really behind the curve in terms of, if you look at real yield, in Japan, it's deeply negative versus a lot of its peer is positive now. US is around 1.5 to 2%, trending around that area. Japan is deep below 1%, minus negative 1%. So I think there's still room for BOJ to hike. I think terminal rate is something between 75 basis points to 100 basis points. And our forecast is they will continue to hike if everything is okay, sanguine into the later of this year. A lot of people are talking about July. We think that, there's an upper house election in July, so that's a no-go. We'll probably focus on September. Maybe they'll have a hike in September. If everything is okay, if yen, doesn't go excessively cheap before that, right? And then they'll try to squeeze another one by fiscal 2026, which is by March 2026.
Masa, every time there is a move by the Bank of Japan, given that they move very slowly as well, of course, we know that global markets are watching very, very closely. There's always, I guess, that risk raised about that tipping point where we could see mass repatriation of assets back to Japan because of the rising domestic returns. We're not there yet, right, given just how wide the differentials still are?
You're correct, right? I think everyone, has been speculating that Japanese will move all the assets back. Remember, right, Japan hold $1 trillion plus in U.S. treasuries. Those are structural holders. They are, the holders like the national pension funds in Japan, the foreign, reserves, currency reserves of Japan. So they are not going to sell down U.S. treasuries just back to Japan. If anything, I think, with the rates differential of U.S. and Japan coming down, and that will translate into a lower hedging cost for Japanese investors. Those investors, the hot money, so-called hot money that were investing in hedged foreign bonds and have sold down their holdings back in the 2022 Fed hike cycle. I think that potentially will gradually come back in terms of from Japan investing into hedged foreign bonds.